gather, George, that you read this book, and as they might say in The Sopranos, you were hot for it from day one, and you were really keen to get it made over the last 10 years. What was it that kind of grabbed you about it initially? You thought, I got to make a movie about this.
Well, it's a best-selling book, huge hit book. And I think it's kind of the same thing that probably got you too, which is we like underdog stories. We always have. I know it is those kind of stories. The fun part is it's true. So when you see a film like this and you see all the ridiculous things, the kid gets sick and all the things that happen, they actually happened. So those are those kind of films that if they weren't true, you couldn't do them,
Yeah, absolutely. And Callum, I read this interesting thing that part of your performances, Joe, you were trying to channel, certainly in part, a bit of James Dean, which I could kind of see. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Actually, it wasn't really James Dean. Gary Cooper in High Noon was my main reference. Okay. And then Woody Guthrie, those two as a combination. And we talked a lot about those old movies. And Spencer Tracy was someone that...
There's a guy, may or not remember, there's a guy named Joel McRae who did all like Sullivan's Travels and stuff. He reminded me a little bit of that too. But we talked about the film being an old-fashioned movie. Like proper movie. We have the kiss at the train station, which feels like it's from 1950s, and we really, even the kiss we had to do differently than you do. You want it to be that kind of mash your face kind of kiss instead of like
it's that old school Hollywood romantic, and then Hadley too as well.
Yeah, so she's beautiful. Amazing. Such a talent.
And Callum, did you get into? I'm sure you're in good shape anyway, but rowing is very physical. Did you have to do a lot of prep work for that, or did you just learn it on set?
I was in the worst shape of my life before I started this movie.
He showed up and I was like, oh my God, we're dead.
Yeah.
And then
he saw me row and then you were like, this is not happening.
Oh, dude, the rowing, when we put those 8 guys in the boat, it was literally like, I can't explain to you what it was like. It was horrifying.
The most embarrassing moment of my life.
And then they kept paddling away. But they trained for like 3 months because they were training while we were shooting too. So they'd finish a day of shooting and then put on their short shorts and go out into the boat.
There we go. But George does this wonderful thing. He finishes at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So everyone's ecstatic on set and everyone's going home and having like, drink and here we go on the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. But the fun part was by the end, we had like the real Washington team came out to visit us.
That's right.
I read that.
And they were like, dude, you guys can row. And it was really nice. It was a real compliment to their athleticism, but also the determination to make it look good.
And actually, rowing is it's a spiritual thing, And to George's point at the beginning, it was awful. We weren't good at all. And to achieve what we did by the end was a special thing to be a part of.
It was real. I mean, even the Olympic coaches that trained them.
Yeah.
When they first started, Terry's like, I don't think this is going to work, guys. He literally called me going, it's not going to work. But they really got together,
Just in closing, George, I may never meet you again, and I just have to quickly say my favorite role of yours is Up in the Air. And in a line, it occurs to me, is that a metaphor for men working too hard? That's what I always think, because a lot of guys like that movie. Do you have that reaction?
I don't know. Well, I don't. I like working hard. I'm 62 years old and I get to still do what I love. And not everybody gets to do that. And I don't take that for granted. So I've always believed in working hard. And, there seems to be a little bit of a mentality now coming out of the pandemic too, where everybody's like, well, we don't want to have meetings on Friday and we don't want to. And I kind of like the other version. I like the version where it says let's work.
Well, I'll tell you, sorry to interrupt you. I'm on holidays for a week from work, but I said yes to this because it was you guys. So we're in unison.
Where are you on holiday?
I'm just at home with my kids and all that kind of stuff.
That sounds like a big holiday.
That's not a holiday at all. Are you kidding? I'd be at work for sure.
I should tell my wife. I'm way out of time. Lovely to meet you both. And boys in the boat is great. Thanks a lot. Cheers.